this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 here in our PVZ, the first in Group 5 of the Asus Republic of Gamers tournament here in 2014, and spawning in the bottom right-hand position on Frost. We have none other than our yellow Zerg, currently 1-0 down. Can he level it off and make parity? It is Team Menace's Protosser. He's going up against the blue Protoss in the top left position of the map, representing Yoe Flash Wolves. Just a very good job of constantly pressuring his opponent, denying bases with an excellent army composition at the end of the game, forcing the GG. It is San. And, well, game number 1, I have to be honest, was just really solid from San from start to finish, spotting what the army composition of Protosser was basically at all times, and working out what he could and couldn't afford to do. Delayed transition into that Colossus, making those initial corruptors from Protosser look a little bit silly, but this is game number 2. Now Protosser is going to have time to reset, refocus, and see what he can get done here. Note the pylon on the low ground to start off with from San. Of course, in the previous game, he did actually go for the pylon inside the main base first, and we are going to see the Forge first coming down for him on this particularly large map. In the meantime, we have the hatch coming down for Protosser. So he's just going to go ahead and plonk that down as soon as he has those 300 minerals. There we go. And the probe scout immediately spotting exactly where San is. Now the Forge is going to be up, so he will have the potential opportunity to stick down a cannon if he wants to. So he's gonna leave the threat open here. He actually starts the first pylon, and we have a drone here trying to prevent San from doing just that. Be as aggressive and annoying as possible. 3 drones now, and is the pylon actually going to complete, or is it going to cancel? 3 drones worth of non-mining, of course, is the trade here, and it looks like a second probe's come out, so he is going to be quite serious about this. Are we going to see the cannon? Yes, we are. There is the first photon cannon. There is the second pylon as well, and a lot of drones coming in now. There are, wow, 2 probes here, a ridiculous number of drones, and it looks like everything is going to get cancelled, but at what cost? Look how much he's mining at the moment. It's basically 40 minerals a minute. Everything was pulled from Protosser to try and stop this from going down, and San really just trying to get inside his opponent's head right now. The worker count, by the way, behind this, the Nexus has gone down, is 18 to 15 in favor of our Protoss player. And Protosser has just finished having a little bit of a mild heart attack, but he does survive. The pylon presumably will go down, and well, I guess both sides will live to fight another day. So back to business as usual. We need to calm our minds, especially from Protosser's end, and say, okay, so that was that, and now we play the rest of the game. In the meantime, San's got to be feeling pretty happy he forced so many probes to get pulled to deal with that right there. He's going to be feeling like economically he's slightly ahead. Not going to be feeling too much pressure. And here come the first Zerglings. This pylon is not long for this world. And it looks like our heroes are just going to be resetting their stanzas here. Supply is currently 25 to 23 in favor of Protosser. Worker count 23 to 20 in favor of San. So next is about to complete as well. He'll be able to chrono boost probes from both of those pretty efficiently indeed. And yeah, let's see what our players choose to transition into from here. Now, given that we did see that Forge coming down, I wonder what Protoss's timing on a potential third base is. Well, just as I say that, it looks like he's going to take it in a rather aggressive position towards his opponent here. The main idea behind taking a base here is so that if you're managing to spread your creep and meeting your opponent's army out in the middle of the map, it doesn't take too much effort to come back and deal with this, because you're basically on your way to attacking your opponent, as opposed to if you took this, where you're susceptible to run-bys from one side of the map and still have to engage an army head-on, for example, which could make you a little bit more susceptible to Zealot Warpins, Warp Prisms, and the like. In the meantime, we've got a couple of Zerglings just sort of scouting out, checking what his opponent is doing up here. Not too out of the ordinary at all just yet. And a probe being very sneaky from San, getting that high ground position around the 6 o'clock. Is he going to be putting down a pylon? One can only suspect he will be. He's got a Stargate on the way, which is about to complete as well. So, We'll be keeping an eye out for what that's going to be for. A single zealot just trying to prevent these Zergis from getting any sort of useful information. Will just about succeed in doing that, and the probe, once again, having a little bit of a look-see, just a peek at the third base to confirm the timing on that. Queen also going to be popping out from Protosser, but Sun will be able to maneuver his worker away. And it looks like that Zergling did get taken out before it got a chance to see the Stargate. We've got an Oracle coming in from Sun now as well. Protosser has got an Overlord going into the main base, but he's really not going to be able to see anything there, because all the tech from Sun just happens to be at his natural. He's also taking his third base, once again being very confident in his ability to hold this base. We saw that in the last game, saying, look, mate, what are you going to do about it? He's going to ask the same question again, because why break something that isn't broken? There is a Spore Coil already here, but this Oracle is going to be able to potentially pick off a couple of workers. Nope, gets a single shot off the Spore Coil and decides immediately that this isn't necessarily going to be worth the investment. We've got a Spore Crawler going down in the main base and the natural expansion as well. And we can see the Roach Warren most of the way towards completion. What will this Oracle be able to do? He's moving in and out, trying to work out where the weak points are. Queen hitting it a little bit now as well. And I have to say, so far, the defense against this Oracle has just been great from Protoss. He really hasn't been able to do very much at all. Managing to pick off just a single unit. A second kill now, just trying his best to pick things off between bases as and when he can. In the meantime, we have got 3 more gateways and a robotics facility coming down at the third base location as well, so being completely undisturbed at the moment by the Zerg. Aliote is going to be keeping watch over this pylon, as we've got a Zealot Warpin potentially coming in towards a natural expansion here, I would suspect, but also has the likelihood of going up to hit the third. And for the second game now, we've got the Hydrostin coming out from Protosser, wanting to engage with a similar unit composition as last game, although I have to say, with excellent sentries and force fields from Sun in game number 1, really made those Hydras and Roaches just not look very effective at all. So I wonder if a Protosser has a particular way he wants to go about switching it up this time around. And Overlord, once again, going to try and scout as much as he can. The Stargate has actually been seen now. And, ooh, it looks like a 4th base did force to get cancelled there from these Zealots. So well done to Sun for that. A couple of Roaches coming in to clean up these Zealots. At that point, we're just going to see a 4th base go down. Nothing too much out of the ordinary. We've got Muscular Augments coming in now as well from Protosser. And in the meantime, the Robotics Bay comes down from Sun as well back at home. So, basically playing out how we did game number 1 here, to be honest, guys. Twilight Council coming out for San too, so we'll be able to get some additional upgrades and potentially Blink/Charge should he wish to do so. Right now, the supplies are 116 to 97 in favor of Protosser. And workers, we've got 68 and 69, so both sides really going about as macro as they possibly can. Here comes the Oracle in for another try. Instead, he's just going to put Revelation on absolutely everything. And I think, actually, he's seen pretty much everything he needs to at this point. So he spotted the Roach, he spotted the Hydras, goes, oh, hang on a second, you're basically doing the same thing again. I know what's going on here. Ooh, very nice. Using the Overseer to pick off that Observer. So Protoss are trying to minimize the presence here of Sun. And by minimizing that, I guess you can do it by blindly killing units. Unfortunately, Sun not quite quick enough on the uptake there. And another Zealot Warpin trying to pick off the 4th base. This time, they will not be so lucky because there are a decent number of units preventing that from happening. So we've got the Pylon coming down now as well. But the Warp Prism is still alive for Sun. So that might be able to do something a little bit later. Spire nearly complete now for Protosser on his side of the map as well. So waiting for the confirmation that those Colossi are out on the field so you can deal with them using those Corruptors. There we go. Popping out now to join the army. Just the first one so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary just yet. 75 to 72 workers right now. And here comes the War Prism into the 4th base. This actually could end up being good pickings and great hunting for San. Another large Warpin of Zealous here. Will they be able to actually take out the hatchery? It's only on 50% health, and the army from Protoss is completely caught out of position here. So there is great potential for this to work, and by great potential I mean, oh, actually our Zerg player can't do anything about it right now. Excellent Zealot Warpin. And the Warp Prism now is hanging out inside the main base, trying to think of what else can be done. A Zealot attempting to pick off this Queen, not going to be able to, and we have got Butylist now. yeah, they're going to be chasing away and destroying the War Prism. But this fourth base has been taken apart so many times now, and another fourth up here using the Colossus as well. Excellent recall too to try and deal with a potential run by coming in at his own third. And basically, the game here for San is to keep the entire matchup on 3 base versus 3 base. In light of this, Protosser has gone ahead and snuck in a hatchery at the bottom left position, somewhere where San is just a lot less likely to scout. Although amusingly, he has got a pylon right next to it. We'll see if he manages to spot it a little bit later on. But hopefully finding a base where he basically cannot harass. Mutalisk now coming in, trying to hit the natural expansion, doing about as good of a job as they possibly could. But the army is quite close by. There's a photon cannon in the mineral line. And we did have Photon Overcharge, and we're going to be Chrono Boosting our Phoenixes now as well. So, really, this is a little bit of a race against time in terms of effective army compositions now for Protoss. I feel he has to start trading, and he has to start exerting pressure on San. He still seems to be less aggressive than he could be with, frankly, this many Mutalisks out on the field. So I'm hoping he's able to go in and pick apart a War Collide or something. Because I feel like he wants something to happen right now. True, he's up 190 supply to 150 at the moment, but San has 1-1 already complete, and there are basically no upgrades complete for Protosser right now. So I feel this could get very interesting indeed. Here we go. Here come the Mutalisks into the third base location. The Stalkers are there, though, and it looks like he's going to engage just for a bit. There's a lot of sentries with energy. Guardian Shields did go up, and that's possibly not the best engagement we've seen. Number of workers killed 6-3 right now, so insignificant, really, at this stage of the game from both sides. And both corners of the map are being expanded to by Protoss. He's saying, look, you can hit the obvious targets, but I'm going to see if I can expand to some less obvious places right now. And I do like that idea. Meanwhile, though, San just continuing to get greater and greater numbers and greater strength, actually, on the army he currently has out in the middle of the map. He's got +2/+1 complete right now. And I'm just really worried about the death ball ability of this Protoss army right now. Good cancel over there on, I suppose, what would have been the fourth base location. Protoss are doing a great job of coming in and just being a guerrilla tactics with these units. He's coming in once again at the third base with these Mutalisks. We'll be able to pick apart at least one of the cannons, but otherwise is going to have to blink on home pretty quick indeed. He's denied a base, but the upgrade advantage is just absolutely humongous right now for our Protoss player. 0-0 versus 2-1 is no laughing matter, and with 3 Colossi in the mix now as well, I feel like this is a good opportunity for San to potentially push. Yes, these Mutas are going to be incredibly annoying. Oh, goodness. And Phoenixes meet the Mutas. Don't worry, we have Corruptors here. They will help out. They're our buddies. Don't worry about it. And now we get to see exactly how much micro both these players have, because San is coming in. He is feeling like he just wants to take the kill here. He's done a great job of dodging the jabs of Protosser so far. He's just trying to harass as much as possible and actually coming into the natural expansion with everything he's got. This could end up being some sort of base race, but in a straight up engagement between the two armies, I feel like Protoss are just going to come off worse, if nothing else, just due to the upgrades right now. The air army, though, is doing quite a good job. In the meantime, we have got San moving into the natural expansion. He's saying, you want a base trade? I'm happy to base trade. Let's absolutely go for this here, because I think I have what it takes to win this game. Corruptors and Mutalisks flying into the main base now from Protosser. Is San going to be able to hold on here, or is Protosser going to take game number 2 and even out the score going into game 3 here? I don't know. Well, not very many Mutalisks left, it has to be said. I actually wonder if this cannon is even going to go down, or if all of these Mutalisks actually get picked off here. And it looks like, well, I'm beginning to be less and less sure. Moving away with these probes seems to be alright. San is microing his heart out right now. He's saying, look, I'm just going to rebuild as much as I can at my third base, because don't forget, a lot of infrastructure happens to be here. And in the meantime, Protoss is rebuilding a lot at his top base as well. We've got the Spire, we've got the Spawning Pool, the Roach Warren, all going in the top right corner of the map. San has not scouted the top right or the bottom left corners right now. Work supply is 37-49 in favor of our Protoss player, San. This is looking pretty weird, but I have to give the edge to San here simply because he's managed to rebuild. He's taken apart all the tech. He will figure out at some point or another that a hidden base is starting, and when he does, Basically, this space is entirely naked, and yes, this space has some tech out, but it's not like he has a ridiculous amount of static defense or something similar. It's really difficult for our Zerg player, there we go, unfortunately, to defend both corners of the map at once, and that is going to be GG by the looks of things. Protosser taps out, and San, ladies and gentlemen, is going to win this first series of Group 5 here at the Asus Republic of Gamers by a scoreline of 2-0.